In our younger days, we built and sailed trimarans. When we got married, we dreamed of sailing the world.
As we look forward to retirement, our dream is becoming real. We chose a Seawind catamaran, or maybe she chose us.
And after a lifetime of dreams, our boat finally arrived. We are shaking her out in the Chesapeake Bay and along the mid-Atlantic coast.
We christened her Moments in Time, reminding us to cherish each moment. The sea is calling. Come share the dream. You'd think that Peter would have had enough of silly boat chores. But I look around me and I see it isn't so. Some people want to fill the world with silly boat chores. And what's wrong with that? I'd like to know. 'Cause here we go again.
We had some gel coat issues. A chip in the cockpit sink cover, a discoloration on the windlass hatch, and a pretty big gouge along the anchor chain run on the bow. I taped off the damaged spot and then soldered the gel coat over top. I am wet sanding this, and it's probably going to take another coat of gel coat, and we'll see how it turns out. What does Skipper Pete hate the most?
Sanding.
Sanding.
Admiral Tony's not too fond of it either. I have the easier job.
But the color match is spot on.
Yes, it does.
Wet sanding is the way to go. I use a foam blocking for the sandpaper. I'll leave a link in the description. Seawind provided some leftover gel coat from building the boat, so the color match was not an issue. I mixed the gel coat with some hardener and spatted it on the spots that needed repair. That's what it looks like after the first application of gel coat and sanding it with 320 grit sandpaper. I always wet sand when I can. Wasn't too bad. I'm going to give it another coat. The color match looks pretty good, and it was a deep gouge, so hopefully one more coat will do it. I wet sanded starting with 300 grit and worked my way up to 3500 grit. I then used waxing polish to finish it off. Tony could not find the original bad spots. Hell, I couldn't even find the original bad spots. So can you tell where that chip that was bothering you?
Nope. There was a chip somewhere in here, but you cannot see it at all. It's just like, it's perfect. It's amazing. And then there was a spot over here. And actually, you can still see that a little bit.
Take a look.
Yeah, you need to sand that one a little more. Sorry.
Okay, and up front?
Up front, you can't tell either.
Yeah, everything looks good. So.
Yeah, that one's pretty amazing too, because that was in the anchor, like the anchor well, and it was around the corner, and it's like.
It was a pretty big chip, so yeah.
Yeah.
Tony had found this small screw on the foredeck of Moments in Time. We looked and we searched everywhere on deck to see where it came from. We could not find anything, so up the mast I had to go. Small screws, bolts, and nuts like that, you always have to find out where they came from. It could be something important, and if you don't find it, Murphy will find where it came from first, usually in the event of a disaster. I strapped on the bosun chair and loaded the pockets with the tools. Any tool that I thought I might need up there. I also carried 100 foot of paracord, just in case I had to lower it so Tony could pass something back up. I did not want to come back down and go back up again. Me and Tony do use our headsets. Those headsets are worth every dime we paid for them. This allowed us to communicate back and forth without screaming. I used the main halyard and attached to the bosun chair. Tony used the electric winch to raise me up, far easier than just using the screecher's halyard. I did have the screecher halyard on as backup, so as we went up, Tony would go onto the starboard side and tighten that up. On the way up, I was inspecting all the little blocks and cables and anything I could, hoping to find where that screw came from. But we all know it was going to be all the way at the tip top. No doubt about it. And this is where it came from. We kind of suspected the Windex because the Windex was spinning like a ballerina up there. But you can't get any higher in the mast. It is really a feat that I did not drop anything or did not drop the screw. I wasn't all that comfortable up there. It's been a long time since I had to go up a mast. I managed to get some Loctite on the set screw and screwed it back in. While up the mast, I took the opportunity to inspect everything. I checked all the screws, nuts, and bolts I could and gave everything a visual inspection, including all the shrouds. The mast is 61 feet above the water. I had a couple mast steps up at the top, but I did not stand on them. I was a little bit nervous being up there. It is astounding that Tony found this small screw on the foredeck. It's astounding that it didn't roll into the water. And it's astounding that we found its home and was able to return it. While up there, I did find that the top mast track was loose. It was rattling, but I did not have the right tools to fix it, so I would have to go up the mast again. Guess where I am? I am on top of the mast a moment in time. Really getting too old for this, but I had to put another set screw in my Windex, which is right here. I hope you can see it. Surprisingly, it did not have any thread lock on it, which is really a little bit upsetting. So all this is so much easier to do when the mast is down before it was, put on the boat. So I'm a little upset. But here's the view. Beautiful day. Of course. Very uncomfortable up here, but while every one of these boats come by, they see me up here and it feels like they just gun it, so I get maximum wake of fake here, 61 feet up in the air. Ugh. I took video of what I could up top there, just in case I needed it for reference later on. I didn't want to go up there again. The view was great, at least from top of the mast. If you look closely, you can see another C-11260 off in the distance. That is second sight. We got a little bit done today. I went up the mast, fixed the Windex, put a set screw in there. Found another problem. Looks like that top track is a little bit loose, so I'm going to have to go back and check that out again. See how that's rattling around? This is why I'm going back up here to tighten these. I'm hitting these as I go up. Okay. Here I am back up the damn mast, tightening up this track that was loose with a screwdriver. I'm not happy. I don't know why it was loose, but I have to keep an eye on it. This is the second time I had to come to the top, so this is stuff that you have to do, I guess, when you own a boat, but I don't like it. I'm getting way too old for this, but do what you have to do. Time to get back down, I swear. It's a circus up here trying to get down. Yeah, let me put this camera away. Okay. I'm hoping today to rig up my flag halyards. So I got these shroud cleats that I'm going to try to get on. Hopefully I'll get them on without dropping anything overboard. Oh, look at that. I don't know if I need a washer or not. That's one not on. What do you think? That?
I don't know, that's even me.
Okay. I don't want to tighten it up too tight. I don't need to crush my shrouds. That seems plenty tight. Okay. One shroud cleat in, one to go. I'm putting halyards on to raise flags and radar reflectors off the spreaders and stuff, so I have one on each spreader, each side of the spreader. First chore of the day, go up to the mast, at least to the spreaders, and rig up the flag halyard. I used the mast steps to take as much weight off that winch as possible. Tony was manually cranking me up. I started with the starboard spreader. I had an eyelet up there and I was rigging a small block, attaching it with a soft shackle, and then running the flag halyard through the block and back down to Tony. I then moved over to the port spreader and did basically the same thing. Okay, I'm up here to the spreaders on moments in time. I'm trying to rig up some pulleys on these spreaders so I can raise flags and radar reflectors. It was a perfect day. As soon as I get up here, the wind is whooping. It's kind of blowing me and the rope's all over the place. So it's like, oh, God darn it. Here's what I've done. I put one on the other side. I'm getting too old for this shit. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Let's take a look down. Hi, Tony, wave.
This is the one you want cut, right?
Yes,
Right about here?
that's fine.
Ready?
Yes. The way she's acting, you think she's one up here swinging in the wind. We're almost done.
Go to hell.
She heard that. It's amazing what she... Oh, I'm on speaker set. Shit. She heard it through the microphones. I love you, dear. At least when I get my foot back on solid deck. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if this handy works. Works. So what do you think? One down?
One to go. And I'm glad I didn't drop you. Although I thought about leaving you up there for a little bit.
Next time you're going up the mast.
Because of things you said.
It's all about love. Let's see if we can raise the black. Every boat has the black. We have the black that I had custom made. So we're going to do that one next. Okay, this is how the little flag clips work. You kind of loop it in there. You push this down. Okay, now that sets the spring, and then you put the little rope halyard around that and let it go. Okay, this is our black. When we fly to black, this flag basically signifies that we are on board. So if you see this flag flapping, come knock on our hull.
There you go.
Shaken, not stirred. Let's get her up. What's our reward? A grapefruit slushy? Grapefruit crush. Okay.
Slushy. How dare you?
Have enough of these, you'll be slushy.
That's true.
Not bad. We got something checked off our list. We got 2 flags dangling from the spreader. And that's only been what? 5-6 months into doing, just getting that done. Had to go up to mast, but oh well, it's done. Check mark.
And I didn't drop it.
And crushy. And Tony didn't drop me, even though she might have wanted to drop me.
No, I wanted to leave him up there because he said something mean.
I didn't say something mean.
Yes, you did.
Kind words always. I am back in the C zone. Tony and I noticed that our port and starboard fuel tank sensors are incorrect. We were suspicious, but when I fueled up the port tank with diesel, we came up and looked, and sure enough, starboard showed as full. So I'm just in the C zone, and we're making a simple correction to the inputs. So all I'm doing is swapping the names. Even I can do it. All I did was swap these names, and that's right to config. Transmitting data. Go baby go, go baby go, go baby go, go baby go. It should be rebooting. Come on, reboot, baby. There we go. And that is that. When you change the C-zone configuration, you get this message on the chart plotter. So you want to refresh the chart plotter information. So you just click, yep. And it's going to pull in all the configuration changes from the C-zone. Always like seeing that 100%. And that is that. Remember this broken coax connection coming from the TV antenna on top of the mast? Well, time to fix it. Okay, we're back in here. We're going to fix this coax cable. Here I go. Nothing's easy. Got a new fitting on this. That took all about 10 seconds. Let's get her in.
What? What'd you say?
Fixed. Finally. A 60-second job. New firmware upgrade? Yes, please. And still no over-the-air channels. I checked all the connections, couldn't find any other problems. I'll have to come back to this. I'm in the owner's head area, and I'm taking a look behind here, and I'm probably going to redo this cable connection, and I'm going to hook up a Roku to this TV. The issue with the Samsung TVs is they're not very friendly to downloading and installing apps. It's a real pain in the ass. So hopefully I can get a Roku stick working, and that will address all my problems. Let's take a look. What do we got in here? All kinds of stuff. Here's the Vesper Core Test, the NAC 3, Autopilot. There's the TV. There's a coax connection. That's a screw-on. I'm not happy with it. I got better connections. I'll put one on there. And that's where I'm going to plug in the Roku stick. As you can see, I did replace the twist-on coax connection with a watertight compression fitting. This resolved my issues with receiving over-the-air channels. Do what you can to reduce any dB loss. There's not much play with high-def TV anymore. Now, it should go in like this and plug in like so. Put a Roku stick in there and I rigged it up. So let's take a look. There's the Roku. I ran the wire down here. It's a wireless, obviously. Then underneath the window here, up here to a power pack that I have poorly zip tied up here. And then plugged it into this outlet since we already had it here. And the last thing you need to make sure is that the window's open and closed. So give it a shot, Tony. Okay. Okay, let's test my Roku that we finished installing, make sure everything works. To use your Roku, you must change the source of your TV, which is easily done through the TV's remote.
Good morning. This is Skipper Pete from Moments in Time, and we're about to embark on our 10-day adventure.
And Admiral Tony, and we're really excited. It's been a long time.
Seems like Roku's working just fine. I prefer Roku over the Samsung app. Samsung's always made it a pain in the ass to install the apps. Plus the Roku will pick it up a little bit better, and you won't have that delay with the Samsung processing it. So hopefully it all works out. And that is done. I'm going to close this back up, and hopefully I will never have to go back into this fiberglass dusty ridded compartment again. Next thing we're going to fit, and this came out of the factory this way, so I don't know why it wasn't picked up. We're going to fix this snap button over here. See? Ouch, that is hot. So I'm going to see if I can pull this little thing out. Well, we took this off to get out of the sun. I thought this literally would take 2 minutes. But look, I took 10 minutes to get this button off. Didn't want it to come off, so I feel like throwing that one overboard if it wasn't for the fishies eating it. Put the new one on. That looks good. Get the backing and the die. This is the die. This is a tool I bought. Figure I might as well just buy the tool at this point, because this probably ain't going to be the last time. You put this on here. Hopefully that is on. And squeeze tight. Oh man, what do you think? Think it's fixed?
Better be.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Does it look right?
Yep. Now it's a test. Let's put it back on. Here's some adhesive that's been on the boat since it was unloaded in Norfolk. We're just going to see if we can scrape it off. Hopefully that's all it's going to take. We think it's adhesive.
You can still sort of see a shadow of it here.
Yeah,
Boat soap might do it.
I think we're going to have to wash it off at this point. I'm just holding this on. I used some super adhesive to put this mount here. I got tired of the Cortex rolling all over the place. So we'll give this a couple minutes to dry and then we'll see where we're at. In the past, we just laid this out here or out here and it rolled all over the place. So now this is something that Troy from Utopia told us to do, is just use commercial adhesive backing on here, which is we did, and now we're going to try it. Oh, look
Man
at
overboard.
Man overboard, come on. Hope that wasn't us.
I'm still on board.
I'm still on board. Okay, let's see if it comes out. Oh, looky. I have to put another firmware upgrade that just came out in August on the Cortex. So let's see if we can make this thing happen. Update available. Update now. Confirm. Like to send me notifications. I like notifications from my Cortex. Like collision course, anchor alarms. This firmware update is only for the hub. I don't think anything will go to the handset on this particular one. There was an update back in May that went to the hub and the handsets, this one and the wireless one on the starboard side. Seems mighty slow. Chugging away. I will look away so it will update, because the more I stare at it, the slower it gets. Updating the Cortex is not the fastest process. So we're in the installing phase. It's probably been about a good 20 minutes so far. We did get that update successful message, and the Cortex hub rebooted just fine. It took about 23 minutes. Tuning the rig. After sailing for a while, these shrouds have stretched, and if you look at the little video, you can see them kind of like just flapping. If you let them flap too much, you can damage your entire rig. So I'm just giving these 2 turns per my rigger's instructions. So, almost there on the port. Okay. We got this adjusted. Feels a little bit better. Now we're just going to put a half turn or turn on these, and then we should be done. Next time we go out, we'll see how we did. Hardest part about this is the cotter pins. Okay, I'm just supposed to snug these up. I'm gonna go with that. I don't want to tighten them down too much. That's about 2 turns. Now, and then we'll do the other side and we're done. Tony and I finally installed our Coast Guard number placard. This must be installed on a permanent area of the boat and be clearly visible. Some sailors will install their numbers in one of the engine rooms. Tony liked the placard, so it was installed on the main forward bulkhead.
You'd think that Peter would have had enough of silly boat chores. But I look around me and I see it isn't so.